Hi everyone, welcome back to our next episode of All In. So excited to be coming at you live from the Fleischman Center today. It's my first time back on campus in a few months. Don't worry, there's no one else in the office. Still doing everything socially distanced and everything like that, but excited to be back for another episode of All In. Today I'll be joined by Jamie Rosen. She graduated in 2017 with a degree in human development, and then also went on to get her MPA and graduated with that in 2018. So she will be joining us shortly. Similar to our other all-ins, you can ask questions in the comments or use the question feature, and we'll try to get to as many of those as possible. So we are going to get Jamie a second here. And while she's loading in and connecting, again, feel free to put any questions that you have in the comments. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us today. Awesome. Are you still there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
Great. So to get us started, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. So like you said, I went to Binghamton University. My name is Jamie Rosen, and so I went to Binghamton. I graduated in 2017 as a human development major. I was an education minor, and then I went on to get my master's in public administration, graduated in fall of 2018. And then from there, I went on and I got a job in learning and development, which was actually a really cool opportunity because I didn't know it was even an option. Yeah. So that's where I've been for the past 2 years. I've been loving it, learning new things every day. So that's where I'm at now, and I'm really excited to be here and be able to answer all the questions and tell you a little bit about my journey.
Awesome. Great. Can you start by telling us a little bit more about what you do as a learning and development specialist?
Yes. So as a learning and development specialist, we are a part of the human resources umbrella. So within HR, there's a lot of different departments, which I knew, but I didn't know all the different components that actually go into it. So you have the payroll, you have comp, you have all these different entities within HR. And something that I stumbled upon just within my career search was learning and development. And what it does, it specifically focuses on developing the current and future talent within the organization. So it's really exciting, and we have our hands tied in a lot of different programs and initiatives. But I can just hit on a few different things that we actually do and that I actually do as a learning and development specialist. So the first thing that I have my hands on is just our broad range of development programs. So whether that's our internship program, our one-year associates training program for postgrads, whether it's a little bit more professional employees within the organization who have a little bit more experience. We create and develop those employees by delivering specific training programs to fit their needs and what they need to continue to develop and reach their potential. We also have what's called a learning management system. So it's this online portal that essentially houses all of our internal and external training. So anything that's related to insurance specific, because my company is an insurance organization, or whether it's LinkedIn learning content, we have all of that available for our employees. So part of my role is managing and coordinating that, assigning out trainings. We also have something that I know the Fleischman Center actually used a self-assessment, a cognitive assessment for some of its students. And I remember using that when I was in school. But we have this one cognitive assessment that we work really closely with, and I get to facilitate group sessions for managers and different teams to themselves, and then how they work as a team and as groups, so that they can ultimately be a little bit more successful.
Awesome. That sounds wear a lot of different hats in your role.
Yeah, it's exciting, but there's always a lot to do, and it keeps me busy.
Good. Can you tell us a little bit more about your Binghamton experience and the different types of things that you were involved in while you were here?
Yes. So, yeah, my experience at Binghamton was really great. I got involved in a lot of different areas. So, I was on the Human Development Association board for a couple of years as treasurer and president. I was also involved with athletics. I was on the Binghamton University cheer team. So that was just exciting getting to go to all the basketball games and just other campus and community engagements. I sat on the education minor steering committee. So that was just part of the education minor being able to spearhead some of the things that were going on inside and outside of the classroom. I was in a Greek life sorority, Alpha Epsilon Phi, served as the vice president of recruitment. I got to study abroad one summer through my MPA program in Cusco, Peru, and then just some other things. And then last but not least, of course, I got to intern at the Fleischman Center while I was in school. So that was a really big highlight for me.
Awesome. And which of those experiences, and maybe it's more than one, do you feel like most prepared you for the role that you're in now?
So I think when I think back to all of it and think about the individual experiences, I think they all were able to teach me a little bit that I was able to actually bring to my work with me.
Yeah.
So just starting with my coursework, so like human development and my MPA coursework, I think that really helped just my skills and understanding of people in general and being able to connect with people from different backgrounds and experiences. So I think that was really important. But then outside of that, just with my leadership involvement and my different roles in the clubs and athletics, there were a lot of things that I was able to take back to my job. So one of them specifically was just time management and prioritization practices. So just balancing all those different things. It was really important to be able to handle a lot of different projects at once. And I see that a lot at work. Like I said, we're always balancing a lot of different things. So it's important to be able to prioritize. And I think Binghamton gave me a lot of opportunity to do that and to practice that. Just in terms of being in the Human Development Association and serving as the president of that club, with all of our student association organizations, it's not like you have a boss to report up to or anything like that. It's all student led. So it's really up to the students to really drive the programs, and anything that they want to get done, they have to take that initiative to do that. So that's really helped me in my role now, because I get excited about things and I have the opportunity to go forward with it. So that's been cool. And then just two other quick things.
Sure.
Working with people from different levels and different levels of authority. I really got to experience that at Binghamton, also with some of those positions, working with the dean in some cases of CCPA, or working with coaches and professors, just having to balance all those different people, and then also having to work with your peers and still have them, that balance of like respect versus still being your friend. So that was something I really got to practice. And then lastly, just greater self-awareness of myself and just more confidence in my strengths, so that when I went to actually work, I knew what I could offer them, and I knew where my strengths lied and where I could continue to develop on those.
Yeah, that's great. We always love hearing, and I'm so happy that you gave so many examples, because it's so true that the things you're involved with on campus can really provide you with some of those skills that you need for your career, whether you know it or not. So that's great.
Right.
Awesome. So you spoke a little bit about your coursework, but I wanted to know if you could share a little bit more about your decision to pursue your MPA and kind of what that process was like for you.
Yeah, so it was actually a very interesting process. It wasn't like I always knew that I wanted to get my MPA or anything like that. I actually graduated early, and at that point, I had the option to either stay in Binghamton, finish out the year with my friends, or go home and start looking for work and all that. But I wasn't ready to leave Binghamton yet. I was involved in so much, and cutting it short kind of seemed like it would be something that I would go back to regret. So I was looking at different programs and opportunities that I can continue to do with my academics while at Binghamton that would still kind of apply to what I wanted to do. And a couple of the things I've always really been interested in. I liked the business aspect of work, and I liked that idea, but I wasn't ready to commit myself to accounting or finance or anything like that. And I also liked the idea of working with people and helping people in some capacity. So I looked more into the MPA, and there was actually a concentration in human resources. And that was kind of the fields in which I was looking to go based on the things that I enjoyed, and that mix again of business and working with people and helping people get from point A to point B. So that's how I found the MPA program. And then from there, it was a no-brainer. It would allow me to stay at Binghamton. It would help me in my future career goals, and it just worked out. So I was really excited about that.
Awesome. Good. And a nice little segue there. My next question is, what are your career goals, and where do you see yourself going from your current role?
So that's a really good question. And the honest answer is I'm not entirely sure, and I think that's okay. But
yeah,
right now I'm still learning in my role. I'm still figuring out the pieces of it that I like a lot and the pieces that maybe I could do without. So I'm kind of using that to my advantage to see, okay, so my next steps, what do I actually want to take with me and what can I leave behind? Yeah. But there's two things specifically that I've always been attracted to, and this was a trend always. When I was younger, I wanted to be a guidance counselor, and I got over that. But then I found myself working at the Fleischman Center, and I really enjoyed that. And two of the things that I sought out most in both of those career paths were, one, being able to help people develop and see people go from one spot to another in their professional journeys. And then the second was actually being able to offer them the tools that they need to get there. So I found those two things in both of those experiences and both of those career paths. So those are two things I know I'm passionate about and I know I want to keep doing. So whether that's, starting my own business down the line or having a similar role to what I have now, just maybe a more senior position in a larger company or a startup, I just hope to continue to be able to do that just in a larger and more meaningful capacity.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I love that you said that you're not 100% sure and that's okay, because
definitely not
100% okay, and we talk a lot in the Fleischman Center about planned happenstance and how you can't always plan for the things that are going to happen or the opportunities that are going to come your way. So I think knowing those kind of core things that you're interested in is, the perfect place to be and to kind of figure it out as you go.
Definitely. Yep. So I'm still figuring it out, but it's okay.
Good. So, Jamie, I have two more questions for you. We are getting to the point in the summer. July is wrapping up, and students will pretty soon start to be back on campus. So do you have any advice for an incoming student?
Incoming for freshmen or?
Yeah, for a first-year student.
Yeah, I would say as a first-year student, just get involved in any way you can, whether that's clubs, sports, going to athletic events, doing things just outside of the classroom and outside of your immediate group of friends can really help foster and develop your college experience. Not only that, but the connections that you create in doing the things that interest you are so important and can really help drive your next steps, whether you know it or not. Your friends are a part of your network. So really branching out and reaching out, especially to people of similar interests in you, can be really helpful in your career journey as you're trying to figure it out. Because especially as a freshman, it's not something you're thinking of right away, and it doesn't need to be top priority, but making sure that you're getting the most out of your time in Binghamton and taking advantage of the opportunities can go a long way.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's some really great advice for all students, really, as they start to prepare to come back to campus. So awesome. Jamie, we always end our all-ins with a food-related question because it is the lunch hour. So can you share with us what your favorite candy is?
My favorite candy. Let's see. I would probably choose Kit Kats.
Nice
They
choice.
are delicious. I love chocolate, and it has a nice cookie crisp in the middle, so it's a great combination.
Awesome. I love that choice. And now I think I want a Kit Kat. So
You
awesome.
deserve one.
Thank you. Thanks so much for joining us today, Jamie. It was so great to connect with you and to hear a little bit more about your career journey.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.